Hi, this is Captain Paul Brawley with Fish Finder Guide Service. Today we're going to start in this pocket of water right in here just south of the Bird Island Basin channel. You're going to be looking for slicks to pop up in that little area. Make sure you stay out of the no boat zone, but between the no boat zone and the intercoastal, there's some pretty nice trout right in there right now. We're still using croakers. You can use live shrimp and corks. Although I think you're going to catch a little better trout on croakers, but right through that little circle right there, you're going to be looking for some nice trout on the croakers. Right across the channel, there's a little trough right here that runs behind this spoil, right in there. You're going to fish that with either sardines, cut skipjack, cut mullets. You can use live croaker, piggy perch if you can get them. You're going to be looking for redfish on the cut bait and trout on the on the croakers or the piggy perch. That little trough right there's been holding some pretty nice redfish right now at this time. So I'm not sure if you're running all the way down the Laguna or you're launching at Bird Island Basin, but if you are, there's some fish pretty close. I think that's about 9 miles from the bridge or about 1,000 yards from the Bird Island Basin. All right, we're going to move along to this west drop right through here. A little bit deeper water meeting that shallow water right in there. We're going to be using croakers for keeper trout, or if you want to make drifts with popping cork and shrimp, you could look for some redfish, getting a little tighter to the King Ranch right there. It seems like that's been holding some pretty good fish. You're going to move on just a hair south from here and around these spoils right here, either side. You're going to be looking for redfish all around, tighter to the drop. You can use piggy perch, cut mullet, skipjack, sardines, shad, anything that's dead, kind of really fresh dead type of meat. Those reds are really looking for that kind of stuff right now. But there's a lot of real grass. It's grass lines that are tight to the land, and then it kind of drops down to the little drops or the shoulders of that. You're going to want to fish right on those shoulders directly, right in that area, looking for some nice redfish. Okay, we're going to be moving across to this east shoreline right here. All up and down this east shoreline, there's a nice grass edge that runs right down the sand, and there's been a lot of slicks popping, a lot of bait activity, a lot of speckled trout right in that area. You're going to have to really weed through the trout. There's going to be a lot of small ones, but if you stay tenacious and stay on top of it, you're going to be able to find you some keeper trout in that area. All along the backs of these spoils right here, you're looking for black drum and redfish. You're going to be using popping corks and shrimp, especially in the windier mid-morning to afternoons. You should be able to find some pretty good reds and black drum behind those spoils there. So we're going to be moving along a little further south now. All right, moving along a little further south. We're going to be looking right in here at Compuertas Pass in this little area, right in this area. There's a lot of rocks in here, so be very careful. There's some good 2 and 3 foot water that run along this trough right here that kind of runs turning heading towards Tide Gauge and Pointed Rocks there. That area right there, that drop, will have your trout on croakers. I really haven't done any other experimenting through there other than throwing some croakers for trout. You're going to want to free line those. I still say let's use number 6 or number 7 kell hooks, but that area right there should have some really nice trout. You may have to wait them out a little bit, but it does seem to be producing. If you come up a little bit higher and get in here behind these rocks, if you're familiar with the area, you'll be able to find some decent trout in there too. Anywhere along those drops with a super low tide, be very careful. Stay in the running lanes. Don't get too far towards the Badlands or too far over the Pointed Rocks or Catheads. You want to make sure you stay in the running lane, and you're going to fish behind those sets of rocks or between the Badlands and the shoreline. You should find some pretty good trout right in there. All right, next we're going to be moving right in here to the wall of rocks, right in this little area, and this little point here, and this little cove right here. Right through there, right against, tighter to the rocks, you're going to be looking for redfish on popping corks. a few black drums. But a little further out in this zone here that's off the intercoastal and between the rocks, you're going to be looking for some pretty nice trout using your croakers, and go ahead and be freelining those just like we've been talking about. Number 7 Kel hooks, number 6 Kel hooks, right in that area. There are some scattered rocks somewhere like right off this island right in here, so kind of be careful right there, but you're pretty clear in this area and pretty clear further south of that, not past the point or not past Rivera Channel, but just kind of be careful. The tide's very low. Keep your eyes on for the rocks in that whole area. Coming out back into the intercoastal and coming back over here off the point of Penascal, the little bit deeper edge out here off of Penascal, there's been some decent trout. There's a ton of little ones and some black drums in that area. That's also a nice area to throw popping corks and shrimp, or if you find a little clearing between rocks or something, it's a decent place to throw some croakers right in there. If you come back in here, come a little further south and get in on the Clayburg shoreline, East Clayburg has a lot of black drums on this outer line of rocks right here. It seems to be pretty decent right now for black drum. Some redfish are being had further south on that same line, and there's always scattered trout through there. I haven't seen the heavier concentrations of trout yet, but you know that's coming soon. Either way, just popping corks and shrimp is probably the best method through most of these areas when you're fishing these deeper rocks.